Hello and welcome into my weekly coaching, inspiration, motivational video where I explain different concepts I'm working with either on myself or with the clients at different points in our lives. So today I want to talk about how to keep the momentum going, and it can be quite challenging for many of us. So let me know in the comments how you're feeling. How is your January going? We are almost halfway through the month, the first month of the year. There's still plenty of time and months to go in the new year. And we may feel at this point like maybe a little bit tired and exhausted, especially when you live in the Western Hemisphere. The days are shorter, so many of us can experience very low energy levels because of the SAD syndrome, for example, which is basically, the daylight is limited. We may feel like we have a lot of kind of negative thoughts and worries about the future, and we think about the past and not necessarily living in the present because it's quite challenging for us. So I want to offer a few things how to keep the momentum going, but in a compassionate and holistic way. I find that January, although I set my goals and everything, it's a kind of a strange month, right? Especially in the Western Hemisphere, as I said. It's just cold and dark. It's not like they're going and running to the gym and trying to do all of these exercises because my energy levels may not be there. And it's like at the time of like a bear, falling asleep for winter, and it's not yet time to wake up, right? So we still have these moments where we're just like, we don't have the energy. And I think, that's the winter is for, is just to cocoon ourselves in this beautiful, lovely winter energy. But of course, I wouldn't feel much energy if I wouldn't, for example, exercise, but I may do it in a very holistic way. I may go for a walk more often, right? Especially when the weather, it doesn't matter what the weather is out there. I'm out walking in the nature, right? Gym is not very appealing to me at the moment. But it's something that I want to do maybe a little bit more often from February, right? But then I will do a few things in the morning or generally at home during the day. And yes, the morning, for example, is the time when I feel the most energetic. So I will use that time for the best, for my kind of energy, for the exercise, for everything. And then in the evening, I can just relax. So like I have done it, right? And that's how I feel. In spring, I can exercise in the morning and in the evening. But in winter, for evenings, unless it's yoga or some kind of like a relaxation workshop, meditation, going and running into the gym is not necessarily my idea of fun. So how to keep the momentum going? And I have a few notes for you. First of all, letting go of outcome. And I think that's an important thing to note, that when we are very strictly tied into the outcome, then we have a certain expectation of what we should be doing and what we should having and all of that, not allowing the universe to work for us. When I set my goals and intentions, when I do my vision board, I sort of put it out into the universe, my dreams. I don't, although I may have a plan, I let go of the outcome. I allow co-creation with the universe, whatever it brings, right? And if it brings, for example, some illness like I had last week, then I take it compassionately and I say like, okay, so now I need a little bit more time to recover and my body is still weak. So I'm just doing a little bit of a gentle exercise, focus on my kind of internal peace and love for myself before I get up and do some more energetic exercises. I also found, that when I have my vision and I'm very fixated on the plan, I don't allow flexibility. So I may say no to various things that should be a yes, right? Because it's not on my vision board. And one of the things wasn't on my vision board actually was writing or being in a like a co-author in the book. But the moment I created a vision board, because I said I've done it last year, I didn't want to focus on that this year. But then the proposal came in and it felt good. You know, when being a co-author in the book is like kind of the community thing with other women, because it's about successful women, and we're going to publish the book for the 8th of March, and we're going to have events around it. And I just need to submit a chapter for the book. And I felt it felt good. It's not on my vision board, but I allow the universe to come in and work in a way that feels good, right? Of course, I'm not going to say yes to every opportunity, but I will say yes to things that really feel good. So I let go of outcome and co-create with the universe. I enjoy the simplicity of the journey. I don't make the journey complicated. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'll let it go. If it works, if it doesn't work, maybe I'll try again or let it go. If it works, it works. I don't overcomplicate things. And the way we overcomplicate things is when we overthink, right? So it's like, oh, it's not working. Maybe I'll just try this way, that way. And we get ourselves into kind of the anxious thoughts and worried thoughts, but why didn't it work in the first place? But we just have to let our go, learn, and maybe try again or drop it, right? So I think that simplicity is just the key. Make it simple, make it fun, make it relatable to yourself. And sometimes you have to let go, of course. Taking break and stepping back. So as I mentioned before, if you're not feeling well, maybe you need a little bit of time to step back and then kind of get onto a better level of activation, right? Maybe it's not the time yet to do that. Now, a lot of people say like, yeah, but it's just, it feels bad, like procrastination. I feel like I'm procrastinating. I'm feeling lazy, or I'm lazy because I'm not doing something. I think this is like our mind chatter telling us something, but how do we feel in our bodies, right? Like it's one thing to think about it, but the other thing is how we feel in our bodies. Our bodies are really nourished and energetic to do certain things, or actually we need that break to recover and recuperate, right? So it's just really the question of those things telling us what would be the best for us, but also feeling into it intuitively. And sometimes what I like doing now, when I have a lot of ideas coming to my mind, I'll park them a little bit. I'll put them down. I say, oh yeah, that sounds good. I park them and I feel into the idea and I feel into it in my body. I used to say a lot of yeses everywhere, and I was exhausted from work, from following up. Some things didn't really feel well, right for me. Now I'm kind of the pausing and waiting to respond. And this is also in a kind of the different personal development models. I'm also looking for signs if I feel like something comes to my mind or there is an opportunity, an idea. I want to think about it. I want to feel it in my body, but I also want to look in the signs in the universe. And it could be anything, right? It could be somebody mentioning that you read something. It could be one word, right? Or you want to give the idea a word and then see whether you can somehow the universe tells you, yeah, it's right thing to do. And then feel it in your body. And the last thing is finding freedom in routine. When I work with the clients and they want to fit in so much in their schedules, right? And but also have the kind of the self-care time and the time for the self-care and be like energetic and all of that, but they're exhausted. We are realistically looking at the schedule and thinking, right, okay, so what is your routine at the moment? Oh, I don't know. One day is this and the other day is the other way. Now, it works for different people. Some people just like it, not necessarily knowing. I believe that routines give you freedom, because if you have a routine, and some people say, well, that's boring. Some days you are spontaneous and you can, free flow. But on some days you want some kind of routine because you feel safe. We create the habits, and we have the habits, and we have goals and plans because we want to feel safe to a certain extent. And there is nothing wrong with feeling safe. It's okay to be visible. It's okay to be out of the comfort zone, but we need like the safe port to come. Like the ships are not always in the rough seas all the time. Like otherwise they would be just breaking down very, very quickly. It's the same with us. We need a safe port. We need the time to recuperate. We need the time to, take it and fix it and break up and really not necessarily fix ourselves, but just give ourselves time to rest. And yes, sometimes we need to fix things. We need to go and see the doctors and see what's going on if that's what is needed. So we are not only just in the rough seas all the time, because it's exhausting, right? It really is exhausting. So finding the routine that works for you most of the time, and of course sometimes have this spontaneous way of doing things, right? And like going somewhere, like today, for example, I just feel like so lonely. Go to a co-working space and maybe work with other people around you. Like I find it very much so a lifesaver just to be around other people. And some people want to have the peace and quiet, and that's fine. You just need to find out what works for you. I hope that was helpful. Let me know. Leave me a review and leave me the comments what works for you. What kind of ways work for you to keep the momentum going? Remember, we have still so much time, A, in our life, and B, in this year. And I truly believe that it's a breakthrough year for many, many people, especially women. And when you look at the world, we need like a common, accessing the fields of the common consciousness of what is good for the common good, not only for me as an individual, but what is good for the common good. And I think it's important to realize that, and especially if you have the gifts to offer to this world, your world wants to see your gifts. You want to see you as a person who helps not only yourself but others, especially. So and creating, the kind of the ways for the common good. We have so much unfairness in this world, so many structures that do not work for normal ordinary people, and I really would like to have some kind of impact on it and change it, and I hope that you do too. For me, it's a health, it's accessible health, because it cost us so much, the ill health costs us so much of our own life, that I want to change it. I really want to raise the consciousness of what we can do for ourselves to feel and be better. All right, take care and all the best.